And we're back. Welcome to the JYD podcast. And today I'm joined again with Tyler Misloshuk, the speed demon from Canada, back in Flagstaff at the moment. How's it going, mate? You all good?
You got your intros right. You're doing a lot of podcasts. I wasn't sure if you were gonna rock the triathlon hour or Pro Tri News or the JYD, but here we are, dude. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah. How's life in Flagstaff? Is it cold there or is it still warm?
Yeah, it's starting to turn. This fall is so beautiful here, though. There's like hundreds of thousands of tourists just parked on the side of the roads because we have these aspen trees that just get beautiful colors this time of year. So I love it, but it's also a sign that snow's coming. We had snow on the top of the mountain, which is 4,000 meters, so not where I'm living, but up the mountain we had snow, which is a sign that I'm ready to go. I'm leaving tomorrow for Australia, Malaysia, and Japan. So I got a big trip coming up.
Are you going to Australia first?
Australia, which is Short Course Worlds, and then 2 weeks later I'm doing Langkawi 70.3. So I'm on the TT bike and road bike, and then 6-7 days after I'm doing let's see what happens, sprint this World Cup after 70.3. So we'll see how it all goes.
Surely after Langkawi, it should be flying back to Oz for Western Australia full distance to tick the Kona qualification box off, shouldn't it? Like instead of sprint.
That's December 5th, which is also, there's an option for me to go and do Bahrain or that. But to be honest, I raced Kukan in January. So January to December is a long season. And based on what you've told me, and like even we talked, I think that I can do well at the distance, but I don't want to go into it like mentally tired. I think physically I'm still like probably better than I have been all year right now. But mentally, maybe, you've just taken an off season. Sometimes it's not so much physical, even though you're like hitting your best numbers you just did in Nice and these races. It's just like sometimes if you don't have the mental edge to push at the end of the year, you gotta be careful.
Yeah. So, but you're racing, or you're racing anyway. So it would just be instead of racing a sprint, you'd just be racing a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's just from 50 minutes to 8 hours. Well, 8 hours if I do okay, 10 if it's not so good. Yeah, I mean, think back. When was your first Ironman? What was your time? I'm curious.
What do you reckon? First ever one. And well, bearing in mind,
give me the year and then I'll guess.
All right, I'll give you the scenario. It was 2012.
Yeah.
I wasn't training for an Ironman. I was training for a 70.3, but I forgot my passport. Couldn't fly to the 70.3, so I had to wait for a new passport to come. And the only race I could do in Europe that was left was Challenge Barcelona, and it was either race a full distance or not race anything. And I'd been doing a load of training. I felt like I was in good fitness, so it was like, right, looks like I'm doing an Ironman now. And
at this point, were you an age group or a pro?
I was racing pro.
Yeah.
But kind of like getting around, like I was working a couple of days a week, but racing pro. But I was scraping into like the bottom parts of the prize money in races. So like getting 5th, 6th,
yeah, that's
top
good.
10.
Okay. I'm gonna say 8 hours 38.
Oh, 8:23.
Oh, that's ripping. Yeah. I was like, if you're scraping to the bottom, I was thinking low 8s, but I was like, it's first Ironman. But damn, yeah, that's impressive. What year was that?
2012.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, things have changed a lot since then. Equipment.
Yeah.
Think about the equipment you were probably riding and the shoes you were rocking. There was no carbons then.
No, that was when Ironman was way more exciting though, because there was no carbons. Nutrition was like so bad. Like I remember doing the marathon, I think I ate like 2 gels because they tasted so disgusting that because you would just take what was out on course at the time then. And the gels they gave you were absolutely rank. I could barely take them. So I probably did the marathon on about 2 gels, something like that. And I got up to like 2nd place, and 1st place was fading. And I thought, I'm going to win this. And then like I just ran out of energy and ended up like limping home in 5th.
Yeah, it's crazy. I talked to like some of the young guys I train with and stuff, and like how little we knew about nutrition, even like 2016. Like, I used to go on 3 or 4-hour rides. I'd have water in my bottles, maybe Powerade or Gatorade in a bottle, and then I'd have one gel that would be an emergency gel. I wouldn't even take it unless I needed it, but usually if you took it, you were already bonked. But it was just, like, normal that pretty much every ride, you would bonk at the end of the ride, and that was just like, "Oh, yeah, I did a good day." You know, if you didn't bonk, it was like, "Oh, I didn't train hard enough."
Yeah. I remember when I used to do like 3 or 4 hour rides and I was like 13. So 13 to like 14, 15. So we're going back like 23, 24 years.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that would have been like 2001, 2002 time.
Oh, gee.
And yeah, my mum and dad, my dad used to make me like peanut butter and jam sandwiches. So I'd have them in like my back pocket in like some foil, like tinfoil thing.
Yeah, classic.
And a packet of Jelly Babies. But it would be like that, and I remember you used to bonk, and I used to before the end, you know when you're about to bonk or you're bonking and you feel like I don't know about you, but I feel really itchy. You know when you get
Yeah.
to that point and it's like blurry vision and like you feel awful. I'd
Yeah.
feel like that, and then my mum would cook me like a bacon, like a fry up and stuff when I got like bacon and eggs and stuff like that.
How good are Jelly Babies, by the way? They don't have them in Canada. I had them, like, first time when I went to UK in 20 when I was about 15 years old, and man, they are bomb.
Yeah, they get you for a ride, definitely. Like
Yeah.
that was the OG. That was the OG Morton. You know, like before that.
It's crazy to think about. So
Yeah, I remember doing road races and, when I was doing, like, the bike races and, like, people would be handing out bottles and stuff, and yeah, my dad would be, like, handing out, like, sandwiches and stuff for me for energy and that, but, like, could you imagine now, like, if you were doing a high intensity race, it's like 3 to 4 hour bike race, you know, loads of sprints and stuff, and you're having a flipping sandwich on the bike, trying to, like, scoff that down while you're, like, breathing out your ass.
no, crazy. You know what's even crazier is, like, when I first started ITU, which again is super high intensity, like, in the beginning, people used to have Snicker bars taped to their top tube, which now you think, like, how crazy of a thought that is. Not because I mean, the sugar is sugar, but imagine trying to scarf down in a draft legal sprint distance when you're riding a crit course a Snickers bar. It's just a different world.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what do you,
it's nuts.
I know you've been on holidays, so tell us a little bit, like, we were just speaking off mic, but tell us a little bit what you've been up to and, what's
So
cracking.
So basically, afternoons, I had like a week off pretty much, and then did the bike leg of a relay triathlon, which was like a sprint. That was just a bit of fun, local one.
Yeah,
And then the next day, went on holiday to Turkey for 8 days. That was like an all inclusive, but it was more relaxing, just chill now. I did a bit of training, like pretty much every day I did something, but it was like a
yeah,
20-minute swim or something like that, or like a little 30-minute run. So not much, like, and then like I think a few days, maybe like 2 or 3 days, I didn't do anything. So I did like probably stuff on 5 of the 8 days. Um, but it was more just chilling out.
what was
And
the best part and the worst part about the Turkey experience?
the best part was we had a flipping awesome water park where on the place where we were staying
Oh,
with
yeah.
some like decent slides, like ones that you go down in rafts and everything. And then there was one that was fucking lethal, mate. Like I saw these like I saw these kids go down it. So basically, because we had Arabella there, so me and Laura
Yeah,
like would take it in turns. So I'd go on there for half an hour. Then while she was like walking around with Arabella while she was sleeping, then we'd swap over sometimes. But sometimes like they would look after her for because there's a kids club there, so they'd look after her for 2 hours, and then we'd both go on it. But one day she was walking around with Arabella, and I went on this slide, and they had these like mats, and they had handles, so you would go like head first down this
oh, like a
slide, and it
slip
was
and slide. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but it was like it must have been about 40 meters high, something like that, so it was flipping high, and, just before you got to, like, the last bit, it would go almost vertical, and you'd go, like, straight down, and the guy was, like, talking to you when it was your first go, giving you, like, a massive, like, flipping essay on what to do, and I saw a load of kids going down that were, like, 9 years old. I was thinking, "Oh, like, this is nothing," so I went down there, and I didn't lift it up high enough because you had to lift it up pretty high at the end when you hit a load of water.
Yeah,
Otherwise, well, what I found was because I didn't lift it high enough, it felt like I got flipping punched in the guts, and I was like, "Oh," like that. My
yeah,
leg was going over the slide. I thought, "God, I nearly fell out." And I ended up seeing Laura, and I went, "God, that slide's lethal. You'll watch out on that." So she went down it, and then she ended up, like, cutting her lip, and then she said the second time she ended up, like, going off the mat and flying. Like, I would go on the mat, and I would end up hitting the end of the thing. It was, like, so fast. There was another slide there as well, what they had where they put you in this cubicle You press the button, and then the floor would drop out, and you'd go almost
Oh, I've
vertical.
seen those before. I've never done one. Those look sick.
Yeah, and that was at the hotel. I mean, like, having that at the hotel was, flipping awesome. So yeah, we had them. We were taking Arabella down the slides, we would go in the dark as well.
The
So she
slide
was,
one you're saying, all I think is like, that's probably not gonna be allowed anywhere in North America because it's so fun, but it's a lawsuit waiting to lawsuit
yeah,
after lawsuit waiting to happen.
the first time when I went down there, because I was thinking, "Oh, all these, like, little 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-old girls have gone down there,
Yeah,
it can't be too bad." And then I felt like it flipping gave me a punch in the guts. I was like, "Flipping heck," like,
yeah.
God, if you I wasn't expecting that, like, but yeah, Arabella was testing her limits. She was going down the dark slides, where it was pitch black, like, because even the ones on, like, the kids one, which she was on, like, were actually pretty good. Normally, you would say you'd expect something like that on a hotel, but,
Yeah.
yeah, it was flipping, awesome. It was right on the beach as well, so you could go swimming in the sea. You had, like, pools on the at the hotel. Yeah, it's really relaxing.
Honestly, you're making, you're selling me on Turkey, and Christian and I were already planning to go and get new hair there, so, we might have to hit a few
Yeah,
water slides, pre-hair surge.
yeah. I'll come with you.
Yeah. You
I'll get the
when I
before and
was
after.
young, we went to same thing, we went to, like, a 8-hour drive from us, a place called Wisconsin Dells in the States, but water parks are just no matter the age, I think, and amusement parks, like, if you like to have fun, you're, like, generally a fun person, like, they never get old, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. And then we went to this other theme park called Land of Legends there, which was absolutely flipping awesome. The amount of slides and stuff they had there was crazy. But that was, and at the hotel we were staying at, you got free entry into it. They had like big roller coasters as well. But I'm not, I'm more of a water park person than a roller coaster. My wife loves the roller
Yeah, well, you're
coasters
just
though.
a pure swimmer, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, when you spend as much time in the water as me, you're just, second nature. I do. I must like the water because I'm always last getting out in the races.
You just like a good soap, dude.
Yeah, I just like making the most of it. I feel like
Yeah,
I've traveled halfway across the world, I might as well make the most of being in the water.
yeah. The bed's not a bad place to spend some time.
Yeah, but, yeah, what about you? So you've been there's been no break for you, it's all been hard work, isn't it? I bet, at altitude.
Yeah, I mean, I crashed it so I crashed in France, I've still got for the viewers who are watching, I still got pretty good scars 5 weeks later on my hand. Was a bit banged up, and then, yeah, I've done a huge training block on the road bike, GT bike, kinda mixing it because 'cause I'm gonna do, this end of the series, end of the season block, which I'm excited about, but, yeah, I mean, I'm curious too, like, I'm getting close to the end of the year, so I'm starting to plan, off-season activities like you, and part of, like, the fun of it is, like, thinking about, what I'm gonna do when take my break. And I always find I never do as much as what I want to do because you finally, it's good to have something planned because if you don't, I find I just slip into like the same routine and just like being lazy because I'm so tired and I'm just glad I don't have to get out the door some days for training. So that was one of the things I wanted to say is, from when you're talking, when you did your first Ironman now to now, how much has your off season changed? Because I know mine has gone through a roller coaster of different variations and how much time I take off and how many beers I drink and all that. So why don't you run me through like, your first off season to now and, somewhere in between along the way of how much it's changed and what it looks like for a pro triathlete.
I don't think mine's changed massively, like, from the start, I would always take, like, I think, normally, like, 2 to 3 weeks, but it depends on, like, the one where I went on holiday after Nice was kinda just like a break, and because we hadn't been on a proper holiday for quite a while, for a good number of years, just decided to go for it then, even though I was racing, like, Arizona, we just thought, like, it would
Yeah.
be if we don't go, we're not gonna end up going, so it was like, "Let's just do that," and then, and actually, it doesn't really feel like I've lost much anyway, but normally, at the end of the year, I'd probably take, like, 2 to 3 weeks where definitely a week or 2 where I don't really do much, but I feel like what you just said then was, like, the main thing for me. It was like, even if I don't do that much. It's just knowing that you've not got to get up, if you know what I mean? So I'll play it
Yeah.
by ear. Like, if I've got the motivation to go out and do something, or it's like good weather and you wanna make the most of it, then I'll do it. But just knowing that you've not gotta set an alarm, you're not trying to fit 3 sessions in for the day is more like, I find the mental break
Yeah.
nice more than anything. And then I feel like the right time to get back into it is when you're really getting fed up of having of not doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, when
Yeah.
I was, like, towards the end of the holiday, I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to get back into training,"
Yeah.
like, really looking forward to it for quite a few days. And I feel like that's when it's the right time to get back into training, is when you're, like, really looking forward to getting back in and you're like, "Oh, I can't wait to start back into training. This is what I wanna do," and you have all these grand plans in your head, don't you? Like, "I'm gonna work on this winter," and next year I'm gonna be an absolute weapon,
Uh,
and and you're like,
100
yeah, and, that's when the right time. But I feel like you said about, like, having, like, beers and stuff like that, like, if I go out, like, if I go out for meals and stuff like that, then I wouldn't worry about it. But then, saying that, even in, like, normal training, like, on the weekend, I'd have, like, a beer or 2 if I went out for a meal or something like that. I
Yeah.
feel like can't be too strict on yourself with that,
Yeah.
and, I think everything in moderation. But, like, I don't really drink that much anyway, like, even in
Yeah.
the off season, do you know what I mean? Because, like, I'd drink if I went out to a restaurant or something like that, but I'm just not really one for, like, drinking at home by myself. It'd be rare
Yeah,
that I'd have a
totally.
drink at sometimes, like, maybe on the weekend or something like that, but not very
Yeah.
often. Like, it's not I go out.
Yeah. I like the taste of alcohol, like, I'll have a ton of NAs, throughout the year, but, yeah, I'm not
What's
likely
NA?
like a non-alcoholic beer. I don't wanna give the brand away because maybe they can sponsor the pod, drop link here, for non-alcoholic beers, but I just like the taste, like, there's something about at the end of the day, if you're cooking a meal, open a bag of, like, chips and, or crisp as you call them, and a beer, and it's just like, that's, for me, what I'll probably do once I retire. I'll just replace it with a real beer more regularly.
A non-alcoholic beer. My god, like, people have changed.
Hey, I still drink, this is the thing, I still drink real beers, and I'm like you, if we go out for a meal and I wanna have a beer, I'll have a glass of red wine. I'm not, that, but the thing is I like the taste so much, like, most people will have a sparkling water at night or will have, like, whatever, a cup of milk or whatever people drink at dinner, I have no
Just tell
idea.
just tell me what non-alcoholic beer you drink that actually tastes good then, because I've not found one that tastes anything near as good as a nice, like, Belgian beer. Like, have you had a nice Belgian beer, like a triple Carmelite or something like that?
So I find the lighter beers are you're able to replicate more, like, have you had Tom Holland's, non-alcoholic beers called Biro he just released?
No? What is that the best
They're
one?
they're pretty solid. Athletic Brewing is pretty solid. Um, what else? Corona, it tastes pretty much like a Corona, but again, that's a summer beer. That's not a UK winter beer. That's not a hearty Belgian. It's hard to find, like, let's say a Belgian or IPA that exactly replicates, but those are kind of my 3, Sierra Nevada,
In
Laguntas. Like, the US has a ridiculous amount of non-alcoholic beers, and they're not perfect. It's just like if you drink, I don't drink decaf coffee, but if you drink decaf coffee, it doesn't taste as good as regular coffee, but it's better than not having any coffee, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I feel like with a non-alcoholic beer, for me, for it to taste good, I have to be, like, really fucked and, like, it has to be boiling hot and I'm just real thirsty, and then it's like, "Oh, yeah, that was refreshing." But
Yeah,
if
see,
I'm
that's
not,
what I'll
like,
do. I'll crack one as soon as I get home. I might have like a little protein shake and then I'll, take a quick shower, then almost crack it in the shower on a hot day. And I'm like, oh, that's good. Like apartment aircon is not on or whatever the
yeah,
case, but it
you
tastes pretty damn
basically
good.
yeah, because it's just because it would be really refreshing then, wouldn't it? Like,
Yeah.
and I bet it gets flipping hot in summer where you are as well, don't it?
Yeah, I just look at it as it's a few extra calories too, because I used to drink a ton of sparkling water and I've always struggled with my weight. So I kind of look at it as like, no, it's a few extra ways to get a few extra calories in for me because I know most people can't relate, but I struggle to keep weight on. It's like a constant battle of like trying to eat and get enough calories. So I drink a lot of calories, whether it's protein shakes, sodas, non-alcoholic beers, whatever it is.
flipping it, mate, you ought to write a weight loss book. You'd have people biting your hand off there, like, "I can't keep the weight on, it just falls off." Like,
Yeah. When
that
they
would
try
be
to
like a
sell
bet.
it though, Joe, it won't be as good because it'll be like, all you need to do is live at 7,000 feet, train 30 hours a week, and do heat training and not have enough time to eat in the day that you basically start to lose weight. So
Yeah.
not many people sign up for that plan.
You just need to frame the book as, like, eat whatever you want and lose weight.
Yeah. The
And
road
then the
to the
small
road to
print.
sub 60 kilos can be yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that what you are? Sub 60 kilos?
No, I weighed myself the other day and I was 61, but that was in the evening, so that was a bit alarming because I was like, I should be a bit heavier in the evening. So I had a 1,500 calorie shake before bed and called it a night. And I've since been trying to make sure I keep on top of it, but it's always a constant battle for me. Like legit, yeah, it's the same way someone struggles with trying to lose weight is the same thing if you're trying to gain weight. It's just constantly in your head, so it's just a nuisance. You know, it's like whatever you're told you have to do becomes not fun. You know, it's like the training in the off season. It's like as soon as you're told you don't have to train, even if it's by you, like your self coach, you know, as soon as the idea of you don't have to train, it's almost like, oh, I want to train, you know? But
Yeah.
it's like you get told I gotta go smash the pedals for 5 hours. It's like, oh, that's tough. Versus like you got nothing. Maybe I want to ride a new loop and do 6 hour ride. Who knows? You know?
Yeah, yeah. God, sub 60, I bet you go up hills so flipping fast. Like, it must be like watching, like, Pogačar or, like, Remco, you know, you're just taking off up the hill, like, effortlessly, you know,
It is
flying
funny
past.
because I'll ride with my buddy Mike here on the TT, and like we'll ride rolling terrain, and he's about 75, and so anytime we go up the hill, I'm kind of half wheeling. Anytime we go down the hill, he's kind of half wheeling. And we both know that we're not doing it on purpose. It's just when there's a 15-kilo swing, it just naturally happens.
Oh, by the way, just before we go on to talking about, the women's race in Kona,
Yeah.
there's a guy who analysed the European road race champs, a power file from Pavel Sivakov, who was racing it,
Yeah.
and they had a big climb that they had to do 3 times, and the big climb took basically 19, 20 minutes, and he's 69 kilos, and he was riding up it for about 400 to 420 watts each time. And then there was one smaller climb that they had to do, and in between, like, the big climbs, they had the smaller climb,
Yeah.
but then they got onto a finish circuit where they had, like, 4 or 5 times up this small climb. But before the 3rd time up the, big climb, he tried to go with a move on the small climb.
Yeah.
He didn't manage to get in it. 69 kilos, a 4-minute effort, just under 4 minutes. It was like 3 minutes 45. What do you reckon he held? And he didn't make the split that he tried to go with.
Okay. I
So
just
he
did a
basically
quick
got
calculation because he's 400 watts for those longer segments at 69. So he's 5.8 watts a kilo. I'm going to guess he's around 7 watts a kilo and he got dropped. So 7 times, I'm going to guess he held 85 watts.
570 something watts for
Mm.
3 minutes 45. He doesn't make this, and he's like, and then the next time up the climb, he was, so up the climb, he was basically like 410, 420. It was like it was only the first time it was like 400. The next times it was like 420. So he basically did like on that time when he did the 4-minute effort, he was like 20 minutes, 420 watts, 10 minutes, 10 minutes into the small climb, 3 minutes 45 at 570, another 10 minutes to the big climb, and then
Yeah.
another 20 minutes at
What could you do
420.
for 4 minutes full gas?
Not 570 watts.
No, need it. Yeah.
I've done 500 watts for 5 minutes, and that's my PB. But 570 at 69 kilos and not even making the break. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it makes you think, like, what's Pogačar's power file? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
because
crazy.
Pogačar rode it like solo for the last 70 Ks,
He's just
and this
he's
guy,
just a different breed. I was talking about it with someone the other day. It's just to me, it's crazy because these are the best guys of the best in the entire world, and then he's just so much better than them. It's just unbelievable. It's like when you get in pro triathlon and someone just stomps the entire pro field, and it makes everyone look like amateurs. But it's like no, the guys who got smashed are the best guys in the world. Like, it's just unbelievable to think that the best guys in the world are just getting put to the absolute sword. It's not like you're 0.5% off. It's like they're a ways off.
He rode Remco off his wheel. They analysed his file from the Pogacar's file from like the Tour de France TT. It was like a 23-minute TT.
Yeah,
It had a bit of uphill at the start, bit of downhill, and then the rest of it was up a mountain. He was on a road bike and he averaged 470 something watts at 64 kilos for 23 minutes with a bit of downhill, corners and everything like that. So his normalized was probably like 490 something.
that's
Like, I mean,
mental.
that's 64 kilos for 23 minutes in the middle of a stage race.
Yeah,
Like, it's just, oh, scary. Fucking scary.
yeah. You think about it just as pure watts without taking the weight, it's insane. And then you make them as light as you can. You just imagine going up a climb, how fast he'd be riding by you, even if you were going at, best pace for whatever, 20 minutes.
Could you imagine, right, if you were like, if someone said to you, if your coach said, right, Tyler, you're going to do a 3-day block with Tadej Pogacar, but he's just going to be doing zone 3 for the 3 days that you're riding with him. That's the good news. He's not doing any tempo or threshold. The bad news is he's doing 5-hour rides each day, Tyler. So you're going with him, and he's doing he's 64 kilos, so he's a few kilos heavier than you, but he's just riding 5 hours at 320 to 340 watts basically all day. Like,
No, thank
you're
you.
allowed to. You don't have to ride next to him. You just got to sit on his wheel and just try and survive the 3-day block.
The
Like,
problem
do you
wouldn't be
think?
that the downhills and the flats wouldn't be a problem, but as soon as you go uphill and he's riding uphill for an hour at 340 watts on the third day of 5 hours, then I reckon I would be tossed to the side of the road and in the shell.
And that would be his zone 2. He'd be like, "Yeah, it's just a little zone 2 block. I haven't even done the tempos." Like, he starts throwing in the tempos, and he's riding, like, his tempos, not even his threshold. He's doing, like, 380 watts, but he's doing, like, some 30, 40-minute efforts at 380 watts, just, like, 6.2 watts per kilo or something like that. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do some threshold efforts today. We're gonna do, like, 3 by 20 minutes at 440, 450 watts."
Yeah, that's when I always
It's just
laugh too, is when they talk about like Remco is so aero, but everyone's like, it's just because he's so aero. It's like, well, he also has a FTP of 7,000 watts, paired with his, it's not just because he's aero.
Yeah. No, totally. Um, anyway, going back to triathlon,
Yeah.
Ironman Hawaii world champs this weekend, the,
Yeah.
women's world champs. Who are your picks? Who do you think's, like, looking good, and, how do you think the race is gonna pan out?
It's $1 million question, hey? I mean, there's the quality of women too. I mean, just like for men in these, it's like you go through the list and like compare this to like 5 or 10 years ago, and the depth is insane with the amount of quality women. I think there's always one or two names that are going to be in the top 5 in this race that neither of us are going to say. Um, but I mean, you got your favorites, right? You like, we've got, Taylor, Kat, Lucy, Laura. I mean, Julie Deron pulled off. That's kind of big news. I know a lot of people were expecting her to do well just based on, her preparations, who's her coach, all those factors. I think there could be a few names that are maybe me or you don't know pop in the top 5, but I mean, Lucy lately has been absolutely on fire in the T100. So the question is she hitting form at the right time, or did she hit form too early? That's always the $1 million question, right? Like, it's like, if someone's absolutely smashing results before the race, it can be a really good sign, but it also can be like they're running on fumes. And people who haven't raced a ton could also be like they're super fit and just holding for the right time, or they could have, you know, not raced enough, overtrained, because typically when you don't race, athletes tend to do bigger blocks and run themselves into the ground a little bit. So you kind of have those opposite approaches of the top girls doing. Some of them haven't raced much in the last, 2 months, and like Lucy's raced a ton, and we'll see how it plays out. It's so hard to say. I'd rather go to you for this because you're a lot more in touch than I am with these ladies, and what your thoughts are.
Well, my thing with Lucy is, if I start off with Lucy Charles, she's obviously shown that she's in really good form and she's
Yeah.
running really well, which has always
Incredible.
been her in in the past. But I would say she's looking really good over 18K, but is she going to be running as strong over the marathon? Because sometimes in the past, some athletes have gone really well over like the half distance, and when
Yeah.
they're going well over the half distance, it doesn't necessarily always translate to the full distance. Um, but then I would say Lucy's been so consistent over the full distance that she would surely
Yeah.
know what training works for her, what her key sessions were leading up to the race in the past, and
Yeah.
what kind of pace she's been doing, which would be a massive positive. But then there'd be the other potential downside, which would be, has she raced too much? Because you can feel really good when you're doing the racing, but then it's only when you're in that last part of the training coming into the race where you really feel it. But I don't know, just because she's been so consistent in the past, I would say she's probably going to be on a good day. But the one thing that I think that would be a real threat for her is Taylor Knibb. I think Kat and Laura, sorry, are going to be behind Lucy on the swim,
Yeah.
which plays massively to Lucy's strength because it's almost like she can just dial into her own race plan on the bike and then hope that she's got enough time in the bank on the run, but that it is what it is. But with Taylor there, it kind of adds another dynamic because does she want to take her chances running off the bike with Taylor? Does she try and drop Taylor? Does Taylor try and drop Lucy and put in a bit of a buffer for the run to give her a bit of a benchmark, which I think
Yeah.
if Taylor wants to Lucy, she's probably going to, but then actually saying that Lucy has been riding really well the last couple of races and she
I
got off
think
the
they would
bike with
team up. Like, if I were them in their shoes, it'd be why try to go after each other if the people from the back are going to be most likely working together or in a group chasing us? Like, why are we gonna, or at least get to most of the way through the ride before they start doing stuff like that they can secure themselves.
I think they'll only work together if they're both confident that they can outrun the other person. So if Lucy thinks that she can outrun Taylor, she'll
Yeah.
be happy to work. Taylor thinks she can outrun Lucy, they'll be happy to work, but
Yeah.
really confident, like in their head, they think, yeah, I've got like a 70–80% chance that I think I'm going to outrun that person. I think then they'll be happy to work. But if they have some doubt, maybe their run training hasn't gone so well, they don't like, Taylor saw that Lucy put a lot of time into her in London. If that's got in her head, I don't think she's necessarily going to be that happy to work with her. And she's going to be trying to, at some point, drop her and get a buffer because both those girls are there to win, aren't they? Like, second, they're not there to just make the podium, are they? It's win or it's shit
Yeah.
or bust.
Here's a good question. So, with the top girls, or any other names you want to add, is what is each girl thinking starting the run? Like, how much buffer is Lucy? Does Lucy even think she needs a buffer? On anyone? Is she going, I can outrun anyone? What's Kat thinking? Is she thinking, I can outrun anyone? Or if I'm within 5 minutes of anyone, I'm going to chase them down? Or, Laura, what is she like? What do you think their times are in their head? Are they like, who's thinking I need to lead, and who's thinking if I get off within a couple minutes, this race is mine?
I think Taylor's probably thinking she wants a few minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and if she can get 5 minutes on Kat and Laura, I think she'd probably take that. I don't know
Yeah.
if that would be enough. I think she'd be like, you've got to think realistic. You can't just think, oh, I'm going to get 15 minutes on them because it's just probably
Yeah.
not going to happen. But I think she'd probably be thinking in her head. Taylor Knibb's game plan is going to be stay on Lucy's feet, work with her for the start, then on the way back to town, push it on and
Yeah.
and that's where she's going to stretch it out. And looking at her biggest, I think, thing in her head would be make sure you have a buffer on Laura and Kat. And I think she'll be thinking, well, potentially I could put 4 or 5 minutes into them on the swim if I can stay with Lucy.
Yeah.
So then on the bike, all I need to do is put another 1 to 2 minutes in, and then I've got 6–7 minutes. And that's as good as it could get for her. Whether or not that would be enough, I don't know. I think it's still 50–50.
Yeah.
I think Lucy on buffer on Lucy, I think she might just want 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know whether or not it'd be enough. Lucy, I think, on the other hand, will be thinking, I think in her head, she'll think she can outrun all those girls, but she would still want a buffer on Laura and Kat. She wouldn't want to run with them. But I think in her head, if you asked her, do you think you can outrun them? Because of how well she's been running in the T100, I think she would fancy her chances outrunning them, but she would like 2 minutes, just
Yeah.
something like that, a little bit of a buffer, she'd be happy with. I think Kat and Laura, they probably wouldn't want to be any more than 5 minutes behind Lucy, I think, because you're putting your fate into that other person's hand in hoping that they have a
Yeah.
bad run for you to be able to take advantage. Like, you could have a great run, but if Lucy has a good run, you aren't catching 5 minutes into her. Like,
No.
Lucy would have to have a
You
bad
gotta
run,
you
I
gotta
think.
pray for a little blow up on the second half.
Yeah, you have to pray for a blow up, and, like, Lucy's been so consistent, like, it could happen,
All these
but
girls are so consistent and so freaking good. That's the problem is, like, they might have a minute or 2 blow up, but, like, how many of these women have we seen, like, blow up and lose 20 minutes or 10 minutes? Like, they're all every
Kona's a
time
different
these.
beast, though. Kona's a different beast, and
Yeah, that's
they
true.
haven't been
Yeah.
2 years. That's the one where you do get the blow ups, though, because it gets so hot towards the end of that bike and on that run. And that's where it really gets you. When you run out of the energy lab and it's just like you're running like real slow, it's in the heat, the sun's beating down on you, and then like that last and the roads there, Tyler, as well, like they're endless. You're just looking and you can't see anything. There's no spectators there. So you kind of left to your own
Yeah.
thoughts and you're literally looking right into the distance, and as far as you can see is where you've got to run. So it just
I trained
really
5
kind of
months in Kona in COVID, so I know that Queen K
you know
highway
what?
really damn
You
well.
know yes, so you know what it's like then.
Yeah. I ran a 3K time trial on the Queen K, and I was thinking, oh yeah, I was thinking, I wonder if anyone's ever run a 3K time trial on, or even anything under a half marathon on the Queen K fast, because that's all you think about is like I've watched the videos growing up, just Iron Wars and all this on the Queen K and the Energy Lab, and we did hill reps in the Energy Lab, so and it is brutal. Like there's just no shade, you're just baking out there. There's just rocks and nothing and ocean, and you're just got nothing but time to think to yourself about how much it hurts and sucks.
Yeah. You know the 3K TT what you did then? That must have been a bit undulating because the Queen K is not
Yeah.
flat, is it?
Yeah, it was pretty
So
undulating. Yeah.
what did you do it in? What was the time for it?
8:01.
8:01 on the
Yeah.
Queen K.
Yeah. Abs
2:40K pace. Fuck,
yeah.
that's quick.
Yeah, I was absolutely, this was pre-Tokyo Olympics. It was 2021, and this was right before I tore my Achilles, so I was in
Oh,
decent
mate,
shape.
yeah, that fucking time trial, like, that
Yeah.
took your Achilles, didn't it? Like, it took your Achilles and a part of your soul.
Yeah, I always joke that a piece of my Achilles is laying out on the Queen K, and I've got to go back one day for the full Ironman and pick it back up, do it,
That
come
is
back and get justice.
that is so fast though, 8:01. Like, would you have a tailwind or something behind you for it?
No, like most of the guys I ran with, so what we did was I ran with 7 or 8 other guys, and no one else ran under, I think, 8. I think the next was around 8:22, but we staggered them based on how we thought. So I had the advantage of at least I was chasing someone. Um,
And what did you think you were gonna do then? Like
I
8:20 or something like
8,
that?
8:10, I thought, because again, it was like 30 degrees out. It doesn't affect you as much over 3K because it's 8 minutes. By the time your body temp goes up, you're done. But it's still just a mental thing, you know?
That is seriously fast, that is.
Yeah.
You've got to share the Strava file if you've got that from the TT
Yeah.
with this, podcast. We've got to put that in there.
Yeah, we will. And the other funny one was at the time we did a team time trial on the way back from Javi, and we took a bunch of KOMs at the time from Cam, but it was like 8 of us on road bike rolling as hard as we could versus Cam, who at the time had a bunch of the crowns. I don't know where they stack up now, but yeah, kind of funny to reminisce of a different time without being like,
Yeah,
Kona World Championships.
I'm impressed with the run. That's, seriously, going for
Yeah,
it.
we'll
That
get
is
it.
out
I'll
there.
find it on Training Peaks.
You must have been in amazing 5K shape back there. Like, if you'd done a 5K on a track in good conditions, surely you'd have been around 13:10 or under.
Yeah,
Because that's,
it's hard to
that's
say, but
13.
I was in good shape. I could tell you a few of the sessions I was in good shape.
We'll have to add them onto another podcast where we go into some of them.
Yeah. All right,
But I
Joe,
mean,
pick your winner. We got to pick our winners.
my winner, oh,
This is tough.
I'm gonna go Lucy Charles.
Yeah.
And you know who I was thinking if I didn't pick her? I was thinking Taylor Knibb. It was between Lucy and Taylor for me.
Okay, well, I can't pick the same as you. I'm gonna go from the girls who are coming from behind, make it interesting because we can't have two horses on the in the same if they're up front together. I'll pick Cat coming from the chase. Maybe we have a little bet. I don't know what do we want to bet on?
Oh god, I don't know, but it could go either way. You know what? Like, I wouldn't
Wait,
even be
you're
surprised
hosting
if Cat
Ironman
wins.
Arizona, right?
Yeah.
If we got to do something because I'll come down and watch you. I mean, I've got some other friends racing too. I'm gonna come down and watch Ironman Arizona. So we got to do something in and around after the race, or I have to do something while you're racing or something like that. We got to work it out, but I think we got something there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We'll put it out to the patrons, and we'll see, what people think. What's the forfeit gonna be for
Yeah,
whoever picks the loser? And what we'll say is, so I've got Lucy, you've got Cat. Even if they don't win, whoever finishes highest out of those two wins.
yeah, I like it.
Come on, Lucy.
Uh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. I mean, if we rock a beer mile too, we can maybe we can get some. If anyone's around that follows the pod, we gotta get them out and do
Yeah.
something.
I will 100% do a beer mile after Arizona. That's the last race of the season. I'm completely done after that.
Yeah,
Uh, I'll have one. And I would say that I almost won the beer mile last time when I did it in Arizona after the Ironman, but my mum scuppered my chances and I got beaten in a sprint finish.
oh really?
Um, yeah, she was like getting in my way. She was like, you can't win the beer mile. You need to let someone else have it. I'm like, get out of my way, mum. Like, get out of my way. Like, I'm trying to remember. Well, my dad's there with a bag, like for where to put the bottles in. My mum's trying to give me this flipping pep talk, and she like messed with my head a bit then, like because I was out of the zone, right? And then I ended up running with this guy who was dressed up in fancy dress as Christian Blumenfeld, and he beat me in the sprint finish. Like,
That's crazy. Hey, you know
yeah,
what? I will say is I've got two friends slash followers online. I haven't met either in person, but Corey Belmore, absolute beer mile legend. He's from Canada, and Lewis Cantu was the original beer mile world record holder. He went on like Ellen DeGeneres back in the day.
what's
Both of
Ellen DeGeneres?
you don't know the talk show Ellen DeGeneres?
No, I've heard of that thing, but I don't know what it is. But I've
She
heard.
was like a talk show host. It was like similar to Oprah. Like she was like one of the biggest talk shows in the entire world. Had the biggest following, got canceled, whatever. But back in the day when he held the world record, he went on this, which like massive deal. And he's a follower of the pod. I've been told he's listened to it. So he said he's more than happy to get out and teach us a thing or two about beer miling. So maybe we have to get him
Flipping
out for
heck.
Arizona if it's in North America.
Yeah, and they gotta do proper bottles, none of this, rubbish where they, like, have them open, letting the fizz get out and stuff like that. Wanna see a proper hardcore, done it all the same, like, all of us in the same boat. I wanna see these boys go up. I've seen a video of Corey Belmore doing
Insane.
it, and I think like 4.5 minutes for a mile or something like that.
Dude, yeah.
Maybe they'll have to give us a hand. Are they racing the Ironman as well?
No idea, but I'm gonna shoot them both a
They
message
better
because I know
if they're not doing the Ironman, they're having a forfeit of, like, waiting a minute or something for us to have a head start, because if I've got an Ironman, like, I'm racing against those boys in the beer mile, I'm having a head start.
yeah. We'll just go see if they're around. It'd be fun to have them out.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see how it's done.
Yeah.
They can show us how it's done.
All right. Well, I know you gotta go. We'll just say is yeah, subscribe to Patreon. Get get amongst it. Early episodes, early release. We got some chats, fun stuff in there. Merch, all that good stuff. And yeah, hopefully we can get some of the guys together for Arizona. I'm kind of excited that you're making your way over this way.
Yeah, no, it'd be awesome to catch up with you out there.
Yeah.
Alright, see you later, guys, and, yeah, we'll catch up soon.